In conclusion, I'm going to conclude the first degree violation on this planet is over goodwill. Goodwill on this planet is being detected, violated, humiliated, and used as a driver. On this planet, the goodwill has been used as a driver. Used, misused, exploited, submitted to definition of asset and concept of devaluation, and used for purposes in reference to asset ownership, in purpose of exploitation and value generation. From there, it's reference to ship as the closest description when it is in question. Goodwill, mostly majority that would be in reference to woman. As a result, we have what I can see happening in my life and in the environment, in the life of now very much next generations. It is that the situation become a matter of categorization within this parallel reality of characters that would be categorized as asset, and then employ the entire management to manage them as a matter of trading, matter of ownership, and matter of money generation. As a result, I end up not to own my money, not to earn my money, but someone else become entitled to my money within the reference of ownership and possession of me. They get rights to own everything I do, results of my work, and any of my entitlement become matter of their shareholding. As a result, today we have in England, as I understand, entire round table sitting out there, managing my affairs as they're theirs, owning my affairs as they're theirs, claiming my affairs as they're theirs. And that is now to be Empire of Macedonia, in reference to Macedonian flag. Excuse me, guys, but that cannot be accepted either. Here, everything that I do appears to be that I am actually investing everything in what I do. Well, you are the one drawing the profit out of it. Well, I'm investing everything I have and I don't have into my project that I continue to call my project. They're actually drawing their earnings out of it. I report this to United Nations and I demand United Nations to immediately resolve the entire matter. We cannot accept such situation in this world anymore. To the extent that our planet defines as a goodwill event, this would amount for occupation of this planet. Because some people obviously continue to see things on this planet in such way, they would not be exactly domestic to this earth either. I'm going to say again, I'm going to use only 2 of my kids. I have 2 kids. I'm going to use them as exempt. That's the only exempt. Eventually would go to very close circle. That is my family. That I would eventually grant. As for example, my brother, I would be thinking about my sister because she appeared in my eyes as quite of a creature. I don't know how much idiotism can amount for creaturehood, but I think that there is a critical point here when it comes to the sister. I already reached here the other side of the equation. I would say. However, I have not been studying that much of all of this. I am mostly just presenting now the issues, and maybe some initial explanation. But I am not what I deliver here cannot be accepted. Neither I'm presenting it as a final product. I have been asking for office for already 10 years. This is too comprehensive. It's too much for one single woman to handle it. And it is on behalf of the planet. Why I would be handling it just a single person, single woman, on behalf of the entire planet. This planet already does have extensive institutionalized political mechanisms. They should give me something out of it. I have earned my right to be assisted properly in what I'm doing here. I cannot take on me this anymore. It's too heavy. It burns me out. I don't want to be to present myself in this kind of with this kind of anger and negativity. I have not been such kind of person. I'm not that kind of person, but I constantly find myself in this kind of furiousness as I need to more in a mode that I need to work out something or need to bring something. It's more kind of I'm playing the horse here that I need to get something on the surface, or I need to make something to bring something to be done, and it's enormous moral uh, weight on me. Now it is the style, of course, in which I want to present myself. This is not how I want to present myself. I don't want to be used in my own work and misused in my own work, and to end up to give to people reason uh, um, to categorize me in some kind of negative characters just because I am handling this, and because I have not been given assistance. I have not been given assistance. I'm handling this all on my own. This will need to stop. This situation will need to stop. I'm not going to accept on behalf of the entire humanity to drag this on my own shoulders only. This stops right here. But I'm going to notice Russians that you are playing your left-hand politics. And it is never going to be correct answer on this planet. You are going against the time. And you are going against yourself. And you are certainly going against this planet. Russians. There are two Russians, by the way. One European and the other Asiatic. And it seems they will need to be split for the sake of the entire European continent. European Russia will need to be split from Asiatic Russia. Or otherwise, European Russia is going to lose as well. As a matter of fact, they have lost it a lot. If they can be called European anymore. But I'm going to find here Russia being a phenomenon on this planet that no one really bothers. Russia will need to be studied very carefully. Very carefully. Russia deserves our planetary attention, and it should be given entire planetary attention to Russia. Russia will need to be understood yet. But I will say, I have noticed, we have to notice that this case with the White Army of Russia, it is now actually a very serious situation. And it might be, it can be dangerous for the entire planet. Here, the Shia of Iran become just a small dot in the ocean called Russia. And then we don't talk about a nuclear arsenal of Iran. We talk about nuclear arsenal of Russia. And everyone understands how that question becomes serious now. They're already occupying Serbia as well. But holding chair like they have no intention to get out of there. Occupying England for quite some time. The question is more than serious. This question has become more than serious. Now that we have found very clearly that Hollywood is their burning machine and how they relate to this planet in a mode of goodwill. Well, the planetary identity on this planet is goodwill that they are burning. They are using it as assets for their promotion, their wealth creation, and further strengthening their positions on Earth. We have planet endangered. And it is not about to talk about Saturn. It is about to talk about Earth. Earth, our Earth, is endangered. Right now. Right now. Not by Saturn, but by people that call themselves Earthians. We talk about Iran, we talk about Russia, we talk about England. The situation is serious. Focus on the approach they are using on the planet. Serbia as well, I'm enclosing Serbia in these dangerous territories. Therefore, I'm highlighting here Iran and Shia populated positions in Middle East, Serbia and England, Russia, Iran and alike countries in Middle East, Russia, Serbia and England. And to quite an extent, Israel and Washington very much recruited in the same machinery. Here we find Judah of Israel in that category. From where you go with Judaism and entire Washington as well has been taken. This is serious situation. They refer to the planet as a goodwill. They occupy you, they enslave you, and then they suck you out. Then they suck out of you everything you have and you don't have, but you are about to earn. They suck you out completely. This madness will need to stop immediately, and they are doing that by looking at your face and smiling at you, by pretending, by lying at you. They're looking at your face, they're making fool out of you, and they are sucking you out. They're sucking you out in good way, in nice way, using love. They have learned a method. Their weapon is love. They're using love to suck you out. They're sucking our planet via using love. So be careful. Stop believing in love. Stop believing in love, Earthians. They're attacking you by using love. And by using nice and smiling approach. They're nicely smiling at you. And they are mercilessly sucking you out. It is time that this planet launch its defense protocol. And I have decided today to stop this work because there is not much to say after this. After this, we need to be focused on saving ourselves and looking after ourselves on personal level. And so I have to do that by myself as well. Because clearly no one else is going to help me. I need to help myself by myself. This is going to be therefore closure to my work. And good. I wish you all of the best, Earthians. Save yourself. Save yourself from being used and misused and being fooled around. Do not allow them to fool you around. You need to stop. We need to stop this. It will need to be recognized that the if protocol here is used as a chain for Adam protocol. Well, that is how they split this entire enterprise. It is that they're using these features, and they're crafting, engineering the humans now in this category of usable products, obviously. It's going on here some kind of production. It's from where it's going factory as well. Out of where hippie movement got launched in last century as well. And someone believe, is that India, where we need to find in roots India? These old societies certainly bring plenty of their own predatory nature from some kind of higher points. So you can't hardly call that gods, because they're extremely predatory versus this planet. But we have that factory clearly going on, production on this planet, where it is clear a reference to human beings being referred as to objects for trading purposes and usability. That madness should simply stop. Here we have concept either Adam and Eve, or you can call it ball and chain and ball, or playing golf, playing the goof and using the goof to get the ball in the hole. That is what they have been doing in America during American presidency versus me and my life. They have been using the goof of my husband to set me the ball in the hole. That means unemployed long term, and then launched Stonehenge protocol, stoning me in variety of ways. First of all, disabling me, discrediting my positions, and then using me as an oil exploitation. That is America, but clearly Serbia would be here, and England would be the teachers as well. They would be the teachers. I am very confident here. Celtics come into perspective, and that is from where I generated that anger versus Celtics. These are all societies that are so prime, so predatory, that cannot be included among the rest of the humans, because they appear as creatures, and in substance maybe they originate to some creatures. Maybe we talk about reptilians here after all. Ladies and gentlemen, this planet is your responsibility, not my personal responsibility. I have done enough. I expect to be compensated for damages you have thrown on me. And I expect to devote my attention further in my life to my own situation, and improving my situation and getting out of hardship in which you have thrown me. I'm going to find you liable for this entire event. I expect you to clean yourself from your duties and guilt. And that would include my kids, and most probably, to great an extent, my entire family. And there's this goal, and then that becomes also some kind of international politics that has become profoundly resource driven, resource exploitation. And we talk about time, we talk about history, we talk about identity, we talk about integrity, we talk about value system, we talk about humanity, we talk about protocol human, we talk about human civilization, we talk about this realm. I have put all of this in my constitution, in my 10 years and more of work. I am not going to drag it on my own shoulders anymore. It's time this planet to accept responsibility as well. We are going to close it here, Earthians, for now. However, I'm going to add here that second alternative to see this entire event as a ball and chain, and as someone else's scenario, is just second scenario. We will need to be considerably skeptical, because in substance we are talking about actual historic event of Alexander versus Macedonia, Alexander's Macedonia versus Babylonian society versus Babylon. And that was not done by someone else. We talk about actual conflicting line between two identities. By the nature of their, driven by the nature of their diversity, including diverse interests. So here Babylon is happening as its own diverse interest versus Macedonia of Alexander. We can see here third party. You have direct conflicting line here. That later someone, as Celtics for example, at some point of time, try to use Alexander for their own benefits. Does not diminish the fact that Babylonians here happen as their own interest zone, and they as their own political subjects, holding their own territories and holding their own political platform, and deploying their political platform and their cultural settings on the territories they occupy, officially or unofficially. In this case scenario, Serbia is unofficially occupied. But it will need to be noticed that historically Serbia never stopped being under some kind of supervision by Muslim societies. And it seems Serbia never managed to free itself from such concept. Although there was established Yugoslavia and it was all happening allegedly within the parameters of that new state, in substance, that Yugoslavia was also a regime, and it was extremely directed towards exploitation of ancient resources. It was not a celebration or confirmation of ancient history of that region, but existed completely as a pipe for exploitation, American pipe of exploitation and of American unity with Babylonian politics in Middle East. And America is profoundly Babylonian itself. That is where fraternity society happened. So Americans are Babylonian to quite an extent. England is Babylonian, under influence, high influence of Babylonian societies. And I can't see that can be excused that much under naive explanation of ball and chain. There is much more going on here. And also here Russians become taken over by that society, openly and clearly. And here Celts are having long-term alliance with Babylonian society, because their powerful dominance and presence in the Middle East, and they have given them enough support, obviously, for common interest, for sharing common interest. That is our ancient plateau in Macedonia. On one side, very often one can say Macedonians are equally aligned with Celts to quite an extent versus their own ancient properties. So we have third factor here. The Macedonians themselves versus their ancient properties that they have not seen as a purely Macedonian, as are in question mixed bloodlines. And when they appear as a third party here in America, very much playing Democrats, and always having some kind of power, although very often end up within the goodwill protocol being melted within it. But they have that impression that they are part of the alliance, and that they are as well hunting, or they are as well hunters. Although very often, as I have said, end up being melted into it and by it. I request restraint order over former Yugoslavian territories because they do not have a suitable level of infrastructure to assist on principal account my work. They would not have that capacity, that strength to bring this revolution forward with me. They have become swallowed in all of this, have become perfect pump. They are in question here my family, so it is a very unmoral and very inappropriate. Some Michelle Obama's, Barack Obama's, and other Americans to build their presence in this world today, sucking out literally blood from these people and sucking out life and blood from these people, literally. We don't want that America either. So these two sides of this equation will need to be basically prevented to further escalate in promotion of their wrongdoing. One is to be blamed more than another. That is the more powerful side of this equation. America, in this case scenario, is to be blamed more than the one that are profoundly disabled and used today against their own. There is nothing more inhumane. And we are today to promote humanity, Michelle and Barack Obama, and the rest of the Democrats and Republicans of America. There is nothing more inhumane than what you are doing. Today, we brought on surface of this planet the discussion on the protocol human and protocol human civilization, and it is very inappropriate that you continue to walk the stages as you have won the title. And we all know, and everyone knows, that you are not the one that have won the title. So stop enforcing, for God's sake, entire White House, for that matter, in America, and a concept of America. Stop enforcing yourself over people like that on the daylight of this kind of work. Find for yourself enough gratitude and capacity to get out from the previous, for God's sake, and be in promise of the new wave. As how you are, that America cannot run anymore on anything. And release these desperate people that you have squashed in Yugoslavia. They're keeping them as slaves. It's 21st century. No one can report slaves, holding slaves, and in 21st century. And you are doing that open ground. You are doing that open ground. Enough is enough. Enough is enough. And you have taken Russians with you in all of that. Russians are playing the same game, pretending to play some kind of newly recovered saint, building that size of churches. You're all to be embarrassed by how you have been playing your own history. There is no one that won today in this world but myself in this work. For how long you are going to delay that realization that none of you have won this but myself? And that Macedonia, it is to notice, they are nothing to do with gallery. They don't have gallery on the flag. They have one single sun on the flag. They have a pharaoh on the flag. Macedonia, it is time to realize what that is and what kind of responsibility and liability that is. And they dare not to have suitable infrastructure. They need to immediately abolish that flag or provide for themselves and build for themselves suitable infrastructure. I doubt, given the history of how they have been behaving on this planet, anyone is going to take them seriously anymore. That is not reference to a kingdom. That is reference to refuge of a pharaoh. And I doubt that would have capacity to ever become a kingdom. And the entire Europe became further dispersion of chunks of remain DNA material, bringing its remained genetic glory over Europe until the point it ceased. And today they have become nothing else but the hunters of their own history. And certainly they cannot play it anymore. I have not found the gold neither in Africa, I have not found it neither in New Zealand, I have not found it anywhere specifically. My approach is different. in any case scenario, the order in any given time should look like order, not like disorder. And also, it is not about you looking after something. It would be about that something looking after your assistance in a given time. And you should be there to provide it. Stop accepting for yourself first place while you are actually the one searching for. That's nothing of a first place. Learn that the first place is reserved for one that should appear, and it's never be yours. As aware of I have found you today, you are sharing the first place, and you believe that that's your place. We have established that that is wrong. You are searching for the first place each time, and in the meantime, you are the one preserving the accomplished and running the infrastructure and making and be there to make that infrastructure available for the next leaders to come and lead this world. Never ever take for yourself first place on earth so easily as you have done it today. That is very important because configure its mind in correct or in wrong way. At the moment it is configured in wrong way and you are the one believing that you are all of the answers. Then what I am. Then what I am. Then what I am. Are you going to notice? And when you are going to notice that you are wrongly positioned versus this work, and how you think you are going to reset it? And is it you to be entrusted now with any reset? When you have happened as a part of the problem? Of course you cannot be entrusted. Neither you would have capacity, I would doubt you would have capacity to make the reset itself. You have become part of the problem. Stop walking yourself as a part of solution when each of you have become as a little predators. You have taken shape of predators. And stop calling yourself human. We cannot chart human on that level and like that. You are not defending today human. You are defending today a predator. For God's sake, you have active temple, an active castle, and you're not capable to do anything about it. For God's sake, what kind of planet on earth you are? And for how long you are going to not recognize that you are part of the problem? For how long you are going to collectively be sorry about your criminal positions and about the fact that you are the criminals? United today as criminals in the sorrow of being criminals, and look at me in daring to get that hardship on you poor endangered criminals. Look at you in collective cry, still indulging yourself with a sorrow. Look at you collectively being hurt by the evil witch. And you forget that you are actually being found a criminal. You are a criminal, a predator. And stop crying and being sorry about yourself. And stop indulging yourself in your criminal. Stop indulging yourself in your criminal for another day. And stop trying to call it correct, because that will never, ever be possible. Stop taking stage that yours is not. This is not your stage. Why you are all over the place? And There is nothing more irritating than to speak reason in 21st century. I thought we accomplished that, at least on the basics. At least on the basics. Now I'm listening now some confronting view. Can you imagine? 21st century, we still have confronting view on way how to govern the societies. Wow. We have confronting view that the governing of the societies can be done with minimum resources. Now I can imagine, I'm going to assume that is why someone was holding me in a chamber here completely imprisoned, so they can prove that the governing can be done with minimum resources or with minimum expenses. Now, to how many people this would look as a valuable alternative to the previous? Can someone call this a valuable alternative? I am calling it a revolution. And you are calling it a valuable alternative as a status quo, as a permanency. You mean to hold a tiger in the cage and call it small government. First of all, I would rather call you critters than myself, or I would not give you that such beautiful reference. But critters you would be. If you can, in 21st century, if we still think that our subject is the size of the government, the size of the government is in reference, is associated to the size of a nation and size of how many people you're going to govern. And also about the historic place of certain nation in a given circumstances, in a historic, in the planetary functioning. But here we are. Here I am every single day talking. I need assistance. I need technical assistance. I need infrastructure. I need infrastructure, and someone is still talking about smaller government. Is all of a sudden that is now our question? It's not what kind of government, but the size of the government? That is phenomenal. So we don't talk about the kind of a leadership, but we talk just about the size of the government. That is where is today the tribunal society, together with Celts, together with stubborn donkey of Serbia, and behind the donkey of Serbia, entire horseland of Muslim world. An entire tribunal Asia that is using today Russia as their horse. That is why Russia will never be equal to European countries, because Russia is predominantly Asiatic country, and Russia is very easy to become horse to tribunal Asiatic capital, as of what Russia has become right now. I don't know what Asia is and how Asia is. Now what happens when Asia gets that horse as it is Russia, plus with nuclear arsenal? And plus Putin is laughing confidently, he is now powerful. Yeah, let's talk about his tail first. And then we speak about power. And the rest of the planet spending a week time in reminiscence to interview with grand leader of the world, the Grand Putin. You mean of Asia, Mongolia, and the rest of nomadic states of Asia? You mean that Putin? What a false! If I have been defending Russia, I have been defending it from some kind of idealism perspective, some kind of perspective of historic heritage, and what is the historic heritage that we want to preserve there. And then how many times I have said we need to look at the present situation there. This European population in that Russia need assistance versus that Asiatic population out there, and never ever in the entire history of Europe it fall on any European head a thought that that European population confronted with that Asiatic population in Russia would eventually need help. No, because everyone is so self-obsessed and self-perceived. That is the stage of 21st century. And then we are talking small government. Yeah, because the egos can grow bigger into their ego perspective. Of course they need small government. I'm going to recognize overwhelming presence of intestine level of politics. And there is only one country that can be accused for that, and that is Ireland and Celtic politics. Their symbols are projecting exactly that, some kind of interconnected reference to roots, entangled roots. From there, we have, it has been in our ancient history present the notion of Gordian knot as a matter of complex interconnected affairs that would have been hard to untangle and hard to understand. That is very typical to Irish and Celtic population. I came here to search for beauty, and I found nothing else but ugliness. I can only be sorry for what I found here, but I cannot deny the result, and I cannot prevent what decision is to be delivered accordingly. We need to seize the entire territory, and the entire way of politicking will need to be simply seized. They have caused plenty of pain and confusion to our planet, plenty of destruction and devastation, plenty of ugliness and misery, and it is time to stop. The territory will need to be seized, and so their affairs as well. And Donald Trump in America, that is just out of question. In contrary, this person should be held responsible for all of the above, association with all of the above, association with the most earliest prime Celtic tribunal practices. Of course, it was easy to find as assistance someone sitting in Serbia, in that land of desperation, where similarly as in Palestine and Israel, whenever something starts emerging above the surface, get immediately cut down. Of course, they will be supported by such land of ongoing desperation. But that is not going to be credit to anyone anymore.